Last week, I talked about the great films to come out of Brazilian cinema and their talented directors. However, there was one I did not get around to discussing due to time constraints, and that is Cao Hamburger, probably the most underappreciated of Brazilian filmmakers and one with quite a versatile filmography. Some of his earliest films were a couple of animated shorts that got him attention at worldwide film festivals. Frankenstein Punk was a somewhat crudely stop-motion animated but nonetheless amusing little short about a Frankenstein's monster who falls in love with the song Singin' in the Rain and tries to share that happiness with others. It's a basic short, but that's kind of part of its charm. With music fitting the characters and their personalities, it was an early indication of Cao Hamburger's imagination and also love of cinema, as further showcased by the short's ending. His second short film was Screen Girl, which was another exploration of love through the movies. In it, the main character finds himself in various homages to different types of movies, with some spot-on recreations of kaiju flicks and German expressionist films, and Hamburger's animation improved with this new short. Watching these films, it's not surprising he got the call to develop what would become one of Brazil's most popular children's programs. Castelo was sort of like Sesame Street, but with wizards, as each episode would have a premise involving a 300-year-old boy wizard and his friends intercut with little educational segments. Hamburger even continued using claymation for an ongoing segment involving a surprisingly cleanly rat. When Cao Hamburger decided to adapt the series into a feature film, he took the concept in a different direction, crafting a rather charming and almost Spielbergian fantasy film that feels like a South American spin on Harry Potter. The filmmakers clearly put a lot of thought into the world and history of these magical beings, and its themes of friendship are universal and not forced. The humor works, the creatures are creatively designed, and Cao Hamburger does not talk down to the viewer here, opting for a sense of adventure and mystery. This film even manages to do the whole evil developer subplot rather well, even if the actor playing the role can be a little over the top. There are also legitimate stakes here, with the other central antagonist proving to be a genuine threat. The child actors give natural performances, and Rosie Campos is a particular standout as the 300-year-old Nina's 6,000-year-old aunt, one of the few actors to reprise her role from the television series. The entire film works in being an entertaining fantasy. If you like these sorts of Harry Potter-like fantasy adventures and you come across a subtitled version, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Nino, não adianta se esconder!
Vocês estão prestes?
O diretor da escola atual!
Você me paga!
O que ela tá fazendo? Ela tá preparando o ritual do alinhamento. Eu não sou estranho, sou apenas diferente.
Hamburger made a different sort of family film with The Year My Parents Went on Vacation, which I think is one of the best family films of the last 10 years. Partly inspired by his own childhood, this movie does an excellent job of showing the fear over the military dictatorship in 1970 through the eyes of children. The film also touches on topics of religion in a mature manner, and the friendship between the young Maru and the elderly Shlomo is well developed, particularly as they try to understand each other, Maru through his love of football and Shlomo through his Judaism. The drama never becomes overtly sentimental and schmaltzy, and Hamburger manages to keep the entire film down to earth and naturalistic. It never feels like we're getting a sensationalized version of what life was like in São Paulo at the time. The film also captures the excitement surrounding the World Cup and how some people used it to forget about the dictatorship for a while. The Year My Parents Went on Vacation is widely available on DVD with English subtitles, so this one should not be too hard to track down, and I definitely highly recommend it. Brazil has not gotten an Oscar nomination for Best Foreign Language Film since 1998, and this getting passed over after making the shortlist might be one of the biggest shockers in the category's history.
Você sabe alguma coisa dos meus pais? Onde eles estão?
Seus pais estão de férias, não é, irmão?
Sei, férias.
Jingu took Cao Hamburger out of the family film realm when he made a historical film about the villas-boas brothers, who tried to persuade the government to build a national park along the Jingu River. At first glance, it seems like the typical story we've seen on film multiple times about the white savior helping the native tribe. However, what makes Jingu stand out is that it's actually about how we ruin the environment by bringing disease to the natives and leading to the start endangered species in South America. While Lando, Claudio, and Leonardo later helped preserve the land from industrialists and developers, they also caused some problems, and the film depicts that. The filmmakers clearly have respect for the native tribes of Brazil and what they have to put up with. The film is incredibly shot, and like the year my parents went on vacation, it works as a time capsule of that earlier period in history. It's almost unbelievable that more of the Amazon is not protected, and the film goes to great lengths to show the importance of protecting the wildlife. There is only one Amazon rainforest, and we should not lose it to unnecessary logging and poaching. However, the film does not come across as preachy when conveying these messages, and it was yet another solid entry in Cao Hamburger's small but captivating filmography. Cao Hamburger is definitely a filmmaker who deserves more recognition outside of his home country. He's proven to be a director of many abilities and able to work in multiple mediums or genres, whether it's a fantasy movie aimed at families or historical films about pivotal moments in Brazil's history. He's a unique talent, and I hope those of you who happen to click on this video and aren't familiar with his work will seek them out. See you next time.